Ya Nabi, Salam Alayka.
Pious Women of Islam, book compiled by Huzur Mufti Azam Hind, Hazrat Allama, Hafiz Qari, Mohammed Shakir Ali Noori-Ameere Sunni Dawate Islami. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, wassalatu wassalamu ala Sayyidil Anbiya wal Mursaleen, wa ala alihi wa sahabihi ajma'een. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuhu. As-salatu wassalamu alayka ya Rasulallah, wa ala alika wa ashabika ya Noor Allah, sallallahu ta'ala alayka wa sallam. It was in the year 1436, in the month of Rajab, Amir Sunni Dawate Islami, Huzur Mufti Azam Hind, Hazrat Allama, Hafiz Qari, Mohammad Shakir Ali Noori, Damat Barkatumul Qudsiya, Alhamdulillah, gifted this ummah with the beautiful gift in the form of book which was named as Pious Women in Islam. This compilation, this book has got stories, has got mention about the different pious women in the history of Islam. It starts with our blessed mother Hazrat Hawa, the first woman to be created. And then there are mention of different pious women who came to this ummah of Prophet sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam. Someone must be thinking that why is it that we need to read this book? Our respected Amir has very beautifully mentioned in the preface of this book that learning from the past and acting upon it in the present and preparing for the future is an important part of human life. So if someone wants to behave or act accordingly in his present life, likewise we as a Muslim, we believe that our actions, what we do, we will be held responsible for that. If we have done something good, then there will be reward which will be given to us. Likewise, if someone commits anything bad, then there will be punishment, there will be azab, which will be for that person. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect all of us. But especially going through the incident or going through the stories of previous nation is very important. And Hazrat emphasizes, he says that if you look at Holy Quran, what we can see is there is mention of stories and accounts of previous nations and previous prophets at number of places, up to the extent that one of the chapters of the Quran is named as Al-Qasas, which means the stories or narrations. There are stories of different prophets, different personalities, different nations are mentioned in Quran. Some in detail, some in brief. Now, it's not only the good which is being mentioned in Quran. There are stories or incidents of people who were sinners, who were disobedient, people who denied prophets, people who were morally corrupt and evil. But the reason to mention these stories is so that Muslim Ummah should read these stories and they should abstain and refrain from such behavior. Likewise, we will also see the stories of prophets, the incidents of people who are pious mentioned in Quran as well. And one of the reasons, or it is mentioned in Quran, is of course to preserve their remembrance. But one of the main reason is so that we can read it and we can follow the example of these blessed personalities in our life. As it is mentioned in Quran, mentioned in this book is the reference of Surah Hud, verse 120, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, and we relate to you all the accounts of noble messengers, in order to steady your heart with it, and in this the truth has come to you, and for the Muslims a preaching and advice. So of course there is nasiha for us. There is something to learn for us in the stories which are mentioned in Quran. And few benefits of mentioning these stories and narrations have been mentioned in this verse, which I have mentioned earlier. It makes a believer stronger by strengthening the heart. Likewise, the truth reaches people. Believers are advised and counseled through them. Lessons are taught through relating frightening incident. So I'll request everyone that there will be sessions which will be coming up. In today's session there hasn't been mention about any stories, but inshallah in coming sessions we will be going through some of these stories which are being mentioned in this kitab. I will request you to take this kitab, read it, likewise listen to these sessions so that you can enlighten your heart with the lives of the pious personalities in Islam. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.